No booming voice?
It says recording in progress.
Nice. All right, now we're ready. All right, let's call the regular meeting of the Architectural Review Committee, July 20th, 2026, to order. All right, let's see what we got here. Roll call, please.
Member Walsh?
Here.
Member Roseman?
Here.
Member Elliott?
Here.
Member Dillon?
Here.
Member Castro?
Here.
Chair O'Donnell?
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right. Report of the posting of the agenda.
The agenda was available for public access to the City Hall exterior bulletin board and the planning services counter on 9 p.m. Thursday, July 22nd, 2026. I'm sorry, July 16th, 2026.
Thank you. Acceptance of the agenda. The Architecture Review Committee will discuss the order of the agenda, may amend the order, note abstentions, and request consent calendar items be removed from the consent calendar for discussion. There are none. So do we need a motion to accept the agenda?
Yes.
So moved.
All right, we got a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, passes unanimous. Public comment at this time has been set aside for members of the public to address the Architecture Review Committee on consent calendar items and other agenda items. Items of general interest within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. Although the Architectural Review Committee values your comments pursuant to the Brown Act, it generally cannot take any action on items not listed on the posted agenda. Speakers will have 3 minutes. Doesn't look like there's anybody in the audience. Anybody online?
No.
Seeing none. All right. There are no consent calendar items, but we do need approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second? Motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. All right. So the minutes pass unanimously. Unfinished business. Item 2A, a request by Legacy Built Investments and Development LLC, applicant owner for a major development permit to construct a 92,400 square foot self-storage facility on a 4.2 acre undeveloped parcel located at 900 North Farrell Drive, APN 507-350-047, zone M1P, case number AR 2026-0010. And Alex, this looks like it's your project. We have a report, please.
Yes. Right, good evening, Chair and committee members. So the scope of review today is a major architectural application to construct a two-story self-storage facility. ARC is to review the building design, colors and materials, lighting and landscape, particularly focusing on hopefully the corner elements and the updated landscape plan. Pursuant to City Council's policy, the city's legislative bodies shall not conduct more than 3 meetings. This is our 3rd meeting, so a decision will have to be made today on this project. Just to refresh everyone's memory, the project site is highlighted in yellow, south of the Palm Springs DMV, surrounded by commercial and industrial uses on the north, south, and east, and residential uses on the west. The project, here you go. Above is the proposed site plan and some previous renderings. So this was our first go at the self-storage facility during ARC's first meeting review. This would be the second rendering during ARC's second meeting. And right now we are looking at the proposed project. So this is the proposed project coming to you tonight for approval. The applicant has removed the corner faux roll of door elements and has added additional color material to the building. So CMU sandstone and CMU champagne uses on the exterior of the building, as well as stucco and insulated metal panels in light stone and polar white. Shown above, all desert appropriate colors and materials. These are just the renderings, the working renderings, to show you the dimensions of certain elements. And the proposed elevations in color. And again, proposed elevations with shadow. So these are proposed renderings of those elevations from the north, all sides, north, east, south, and west. The west will be the side that faces Farrell, and that is located on the bottom. And additional renderings of up and down Farrell. So the top is looking north, and then the bottom's looking south, Farrell. The applicant has increased the landscape, especially along Farrell. Oh, we'll get to that in a second. And then this is Research Drive and Computer Way, looking east of the proposed building. And an aerial view. So again, the applicant has significantly improved the landscape plan. They've added additional trees and shrubs throughout, and especially along Farrell Drive, and have increased not only the quantity but also the size of the shrubs to 5 to 15 gallons. So they vary, which is what we had requested last time. The applicant has also added the berming along Farrell. So the berming is shown below and in an elevation or section view above. To give you an idea. And like last time, this is the line of sight that is taken from Farrell Drive, looking over the proposed, eventually existing trees and proposed wall. So you won't really see much of the building from Farrell once the trees grow, and given how far back it is located from the property. Staff's recommendation is that ARC approve the application based on the findings in the staff report and subject to the attached conditions of approval. That does conclude my presentation, and the applicant is available for questions.
Alex, thank you. Any questions of staff? Questions of staff? All right, generally, how does the landscape plan look?
I think it's come a long way.
It's come a long way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was happy to see the changes. Yeah, I mean, I feel good about it.
I am also inclined to move this project to approval. I think there's one element architecturally that is a little awkward. Those two elements at the front corners, could they be brought down to the same level below the roof plane as the elements on the other? So where you have the entry elements where they're, I'll just go up here because it's the most convenient. Can these elements here and here be brought down to that level? Is that?
You should hear his
Eric,
presentation.
whenever you're ready to bring him up, are you,
Yeah, I'm ready to bring them up.
okay?
I'm going to short circuit this meeting. We're going to get out of here in 5 minutes because we paid our dues last time.
Okay, so.
Eric, introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm Eric Foss. I'm with Legacy Built Investment and Development, the applicant. Opus Garcia is our landscape architect. I was going to address some of these things anyway, and if you have questions for Opus on the
Eric,
landscaping,
why don't you come up here on this
he
side?
can, he can certainly answer those. So the question, Chair O'Donnell, I wanted to see is, this seems to be a little bit below the roof line.
Yeah, that's how it appears to us.
Would you mind if we brought it down to the roof line? Because this is going to be, most of our buildings screened, and we would like to have our buildings somewhat visible, which is why we took this about 4 feet above the roof line. We're approved for 35 feet. I think the code allows 40, ALEC approved for 35. So this is 34 feet, and we did that so that we would have a little presence, once the screening is mature. So that's why we did that. If you think it doesn't look good, could we bring it down level to the 30-foot parapet instead of below?
I think you have a good four-corner building if all four corners are talking to one another. And right now, it just feels like something that blows off in the wind.
Can we push this up to the roof line and that down to the roof line?
How did the other committee members feel?
I would say yes, because the one over the office looks like a mistake. That little sliver of material looks like it's problematic, just architecturally. If you push that up to the top of the building, then it captures the edge of the building continuously. And if the other ones drop down to meet it, then you're using the same language for the most part on the different corners rather than creating two separate expressions of the same element on opposite corners.
You good with that?
We could agree with that.
Okay, I'm going to move approval of this item with the modification of these two front corners based on this committee working diligently with this applicant and this applicant consistently coming back and addressing our concerns. So, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, you got a motion and a second.
Chair, can we, so the motion is to lower the corners.
The northwest and the southwest corners down to the roof parapet height, and to pull up the front northeast, and if there's one that's similar on the southeast, pull them all up to the roof line.
Okay, just making sure we record it correctly.
Yeah. So on the left-hand upper elevation there, that little 7 element or that shape would come up to the roof line. The one on the right-hand side would come down to the roof line. And same thing on the next elevation down. That element on the right-hand side would come up. The next elevation down, that left-hand element would come down, and so on.
So the tallest element would be the sign.
Tallest element would be the sign, correct? All right, we got a motion, a second, further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Chair O'Donnell,
Yes.
Member Castro,
Yes.
Member Dillon,
Yes.
Member Elliott,
Yes.
and Member Walsh,
Yes.
and Member Rosman.
Yes.
All right. Passes unanimously. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
All right. All right, what do we got here? We've got new business, none. Committee member reports. Are we going dark
In August.
for
Yes.
August? All right.
Yes, you will not have a meeting until September 16th.
Okay. Wow.
No, school's out.
School is out, yeah. Are we looking to fill Jackie's vacant position?
Yes, the planning commission meets next week, and I think they are going to be discussing, Anita's shaking her head, filling a position. I don't know if they've had interviews yet, or who's in mind, but we'll report back.
Okay.
And also, that Anita's here, Linda Ponce, who's attended all the ARC meetings, has moved on to another position.
Within the city?
With the school district.
Okay.
So Anita's sitting in until we have that position filled. She'll be helping us.
All right. Good to have you.
To be here.
Planning director's reports, any info we should know?
Thank you for your work last meeting. You did suffer through
We
that.
persevered.
You persevered.
Yes.
It's not easy, I know.
Yeah.
No, Chris did not give me anything to report.
Any update on In-N-Out? when we might see something?
I have not heard.
Okay. All right, then let's adjourn the meeting at 5:44, record time here. It's 14 minutes. July 20th, 2026. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right.